he was developing the speed first and tried to make it last as long as possible. So it's a bit opposite of creating a volume base and then to improve the intensity or the quality of any contact or the weight that you can put on the bar. It was a bit of the opposite way, about creating intensity and then try to make it last as long as possible.
But what they offer to some athletes in certain sports, because I think they base everything where football is, which also relies on power, speed, etc., but also relies a lot on strength, because you have like a big contact, you have like a 300-pound people coming after you, etc. And I see that not much attention was given to movement literacy, movement efficiency, and agility, and your speed and your coordination. Hi everyone, Cassiano Costa, Costa Performance here in Boca Raton. We're doing our podcast as usual. Today, I'll have the pleasure to have one, I think I can call my great friend and terrific human being, terrific coach. We are more than blessed to have him around us here, and today we're gonna get to know him better. Monsieur Francis Bougy.
Thank you, Cassiano. Thank you for the introduction in French almost, Monsieur.
We're gonna do this in all these languages you speak. So we're gonna do Spanish, Portuguese, English, French, Russian.
What else can you add?
Chinese, maybe we
No, I'm not as good as you, but I have two that I'm trying to master.
No, I just pretend.
3 or 4, I have a couple words.
No, it's good. So honestly, for me, it was funny. I'll tell a little bit the story, because obviously we saw each other on the tour, right, in the past. You've been with some great players. I remember you asking me, whatever type of testings we're doing here, but then in conversation you kind of said, look, I have some free time, like to maybe join. And wow, it couldn't be a better gift for me, and I mean it. No, not because you are in front of me here. With that being said, like myself, we come from different schools of fitness, strength and conditioning, whatever we want to call. Obviously you have your foundation through the French program, which from what I've seen in the last years, I admire a lot. I admire the attention to details, the attention to coordination, to crossover with other sports. So I'd like to ask you a bit, how do you see that, in terms of what the main difference are between, if we can call, American school and French/European school?
I want to bounce back on the fact that you mentioned the testing. I came first for the jump platform. I was looking for a center that could do the test for jumping with jump platform and see the difference between right and left foot. So yes, that was the first time I came here. And you had the platform, then now we have a new one coming. So we're now using this at the facility, which I think it's important for athletes to keep track with their progress and the improvement. So we've been doing this for the high level, but also for kids and for lower level, I would say, people. It's important for them to keep track. For the school and the education, yes, I went to university. That's how they call it in Europe. It's kind of college here in the US. So after the high school, you graduate and you have a 5 years degree to be a strength and conditioning coach in Europe. I started with 3 years in Reims, in my home city, where they teach you basically the general thing about anatomy, physiology, and all those like man general aspects. And then 2 years of specific strength and conditioning education. So then I moved and I went to Dijon, where Gilles Cometti, which who was a really famous strength and conditioning coach. He worked with the Juventus Turin. He worked a lot in soccer.
Great work on speed and
yes. So his process was a little bit like switch compared to the basic they have in the days. So he was developing the speed first and try to make it last as long as possible. So it's a bit opposite of creating a volume base and then to improve the intensity or the quality of any contact or the weight that you can put on the bar. It was a bit of the opposite way, about creating intensity and then try to make it last as long as possible. It's still the way that the Dijon University teach the education in strength and conditioning. His daughter is still working there and have the same ideas. I think it's a great way because, as you can see, the most athlete players, when they develop the key point, it's on high intensity. In soccer, you want people to run fast. In tennis, you want people to serve with a lot of explosiveness. Most of the sports, except long and cycling sport as running, cycling or rowing, it's made it for the key moment. And in those key moments, you need explosiveness, you need high intensity, you need high velocity sprint. That's what you need, and you also need them at the end of the match when the money time is the most important thing to perform. So to me, yes, the training in team sports or like racket sport, it's oriented with explosiveness and how like high intensity you can be.
Yeah, I agree. I obviously during my academic career, I'm quite older than you. I read a lot of his work and other writers and authors that will follow the same principle. I was with soccer at the time, and my main case for soccer was this: like, yes, the game is long, the game has volume, the game has some endurance, if you will, but the key moments, the actions that will define victory, etc., they are based and rely more on power, explosiveness, quickness, agility, etc. So little attention at the time was being given to those characteristics. I think more and more now that curve is changing in different ways. The only thing I see here, and honestly, I don't think how much we talked about that on our free time here. But when I see like the college format here in the US, I'm not a big fan of, I'm not criticizing anyone, just my personal opinion, but what they offer to some athletes in certain sports. Because I think they base everything where football is, which also relies on power, speed, etc., but also relies a lot on strength, because you have like a big contact, you have like a 300-pound people coming after you, etc. And I see that not much attention was given to movement literacy, movement efficiency, and agility, and your speed and your coordination. Are you quite familiar with that too, I believe, and what's your opinion on that?
Yes, I think that the contact sport is a different training program than non-contact sport. If you look at NFL, if you look at football here in the US, if you look at rugby, you have to build around the joint, around the bone, some muscle for protection. Like as soon as you have contact, you can't now I want to criticize like Sinner, for example, body type, but is obviously on a contact sport will face different challenging. And you need to build kind of this shelf around you. And this comes with weights and like heavy weights and also like a lot of repetition for hypertrophy and all those things. And I believe that in college, most of the time, maybe the best team, they have different coaches, but I think that the budget of the football team is definitely higher than tennis, for example. Yeah. And they're gonna hire the fitness coach under the budget of the football team, and then on his free time he can take care of this team or this team, maybe, you know, could be softball, tennis, beach volley, whatever. Second, I would say importance regarding the college situation, and then take care of those teams without probably any education or any degree in like a footwork movement specific of tennis, or about coordination, or about like something specific to the activity. And this probably, yes, is this lack of knowledge, I would say, in college is probably impactful for athletes, because most of the time they do weights, most of the time they do also long distance running. And as we talked before in soccer, they were doing, you need to run 2 times 45 minutes because the game is 2 times 45 minutes. So you need to be able to run non-stop 45 minutes for the first half, and then run 45 minutes for the second half. But step by step he evolved, and then now we're turning into interval training, into a high intensity interval training, the HIIT process, which makes you run faster, recover, which is matching more those interval sports as soccer, as tennis, as this activity that are more oriented on the intensity explosiveness.
Yeah. What I see on the college, and I'm just mentioning that because as we are here in the US, that's one path that a lot of athletes try and follow because it's quite competitive. It provides a lot of a structure for the player. So even for players that after want to be professional at their sports, it's a great opportunity. But I feel like you said, normally what they do, they hire someone for football, and then they hire a couple guys for what they call Olympic sports, and you throw 6-7 sports to one coach. Number one, it's not easy to work on group setting, start on that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like customization, stuff like that. Number two, normally those are guys that have zero to none experience with the sport itself. And number three, they barely have time to even get educated on the sport to provide a better situation. My proposal would be why those colleges, especially the ones that have budget, because if you go to a small college with restricted budget, it's complicated. But the ones like the top ones that people know there, they could probably hire specialists to go do workshops to help a little bit building the programs. I'm not only saying tennis, that obviously I would promote ourselves to go, but other sports they can have good people that could go there oftenly, wouldn't be expensive, and would cover a way to improve their program. Now, talking about programs, obviously I know you had the initial background in other sports, even table tennis, if I'm not wrong.
Yes.
Right, and you said you're good at table tennis, right?
I was.
Okay.
I was.
Yeah.
No, I played for 15 years from 11 to 24, so that's not really 15, but I played in France. I started in school with my friends, and then grew up through playing table tennis with my local table tennis club. Went to a national level, national division.
That's cool.
And then after I spent some time coaching as well, kids. Then my level turned a little bit south starting there because I spending time in a table tennis room and seeing the kids and stuff. I lost a little bit interest in my own training. When I moved to the university for my master degree, I also changed a little bit my routine with training. So that started to went a bit downhill on that point. But that was my main sport when I was young.
Nice. Yasaka or butterfly?
Butterfly.
Butterfly. Let me see.
Butterfly.
I might have something surprising for you here.
Oh, you have a shirt. You have something.
Yeah.
You have a gym, a hidden gym. Oh, nice one. Butterfly. Which one is that? Yuki. That's a great one. Butterfly was the brand of T-Mobile, which was one of the first when I was playing, one of the only European company with Chinese was a German guy. And I don't remember, probably number 3 in the world, if not number 1, but one of the only European competing with Ocharov, also a German guy. And I forget one, Belarus, which was, I forgot his name. Tall guy though, really tall.
And you had your case with the foam, with the thing to...
I was gluing so you glue the foam to the blade every time because so the glue make the foam a bit more spongy, so the ball bounce harder on the paddle.
Jenson Brooksby also trained table
tennis.
Really? Yeah,
I didn't
quite
know
good.
That. I didn't know that.
He's ever back here, we do the challenge and see.
We do that. We do that. I didn't touch a paddle for 6 years, I guess, something like that.
Now, obviously, you had also a great background traveling the tour with some great tennis players. If I'm not wrong, you started with tennis. Was that Muratoglu? Am I correct? Or
so when I went to Dijon in the college where I did my master, they had the national training center nearby the university. So that's where I did my internship. That's all how it started with tennis for me. Then I went back to my own city. I was half-time table tennis coach. And the second half, I was working as a fitness and strength and conditioning coach for different sports. Athletics, table tennis, handball, and that's pretty much it. And then after a year, I moved to the south of France for like a summer camp, because the season of table tennis is pretty short. It started end of September and then ends up early May. So
like squash.
Yeah, so I had like 4 months where I would be free, basically. So then I moved to the south for like a summer camp in the academy that calls ASP. And then I stayed there for 2 months training for like summer camp. And then the owner of the place told me early August, well, we're looking for someone in September. You want to stay there for the full year? So I took the opportunity. And yeah, I got my finger into the tennis world back there. And this place got bought by Patrick Mouratoglou in 2016. So they moved from Paris to the south of France in this area, in this tennis club. And so I went there 2016.
Because before they were the Joan Boyan.
They were, so they had 2 places in Paris. The first one was, I think, Plaisir, and the second one was on the west of Paris, or the second one was Plaisir on the west of Paris. So they had the country club, they already have everything there, and they probably need to expand as I would imagine that the possibility of having people staying on site with the rooms and stuff like this got a bit too small in Paris. So to expand and to have a better facility, that was the deal, like to come in the south of France. Also, obviously, the south of France weather is a bit easier to train tennis outside all year long. So that was, I believe, the 2 advantage for Patrick to move in the south. So the main option that I had with Mouratoglou, then probably higher level of tennis coming with professional athlete, as Patrick was already really involved on the pro tour. And that's where I start to work with young rising stars and also like professional players, starting to travel a little bit more, starting to be on tour. That's how the high level tennis got into me.
And for the guys who don't know, like how is the life on tour? How is like challenging?
Life on tour can be really challenging. I think from outside it looks, really interesting. As you're traveling to the best cities in the world, mostly the capital, the main city of each country. You have nice hotels, you have nice tennis facilities, nice gym, but it's for me really hard to build something outside of it, because the full year would start in end of December and ends in end of October, or now even later. So that's 10 months on the tour. Plus, if you add the training weeks as included as your work, it's a 40-45 week on the road, which is not easy. Which is definitely not easy. I think that there is probably time in life. I mean, at least that's how I see it. There is time in life you can do it when you're young, and you really care about your professional career and you want to really invest into it. And also probably when you're a bit older and your kids, if you have them grown up and you have a bit more time also to dedicate to your job, that's probably also something you want to do. To me, it's really hard to combine something else to the tour.
Even personal life, professional life, everything, right? Like, because you ended up, not being able to commit to a lot of things, right? Like,
well, I think it's you having the professional athlete life.
Yeah.
Being on a tour, it's you can forget about birthdays of your friend, or like parties, or even like commitment with, if you want to go skiing, maybe you say no, because I need to be, if I break something, I need to be able to walk and to show exercises in the next 2 weeks when I'm gonna have to work. So there's a lot of restriction. There's a lot of part that you need to sacrifice. But on the other side, once again, the life on the tour is fulfilling with amazing accomplishment. When you see your player, reaching step, or you see like competing well and having high success wins, trophy and stuff like this, is also the balance of it. So.
And where do you see, I mean, obviously the answer fitness would be obvious, but where do you see that we contribute, we as fitness trainers, part of the team of a tennis player, where do you see that we contribute more for these athletes? Like, or if you can even tell an experience that you say, hey man, that day I felt like, wow, I'm proud of myself for that, you know?
Well, I do believe that as a strength and conditioning coach, the main part of your job is during the training blocks, because when you're on a tour after for tournaments, you mainly do warm-ups and a bit of prevention. If there's a physio that travels with you in the team, you don't even do the recovery. If there is a physio that travels in the team, you don't do the recovery anymore. So your main part of the job is warm-up and prevention as a strength and conditioning coach. But I think that it's more related to the atmosphere, the vibes, how you can point out, maybe a day where the energy is a bit low. I think that's a mission that, the strength and conditioning coach have to get the positive vibe and get the machine going. I do believe that emotion control and seeing the situation on a neutral point is important. Sometimes people, in the rush of matches, of competitive, can see a situation maybe with not a factual point, but emotion point. And it's also a part of not only the strength and conditioning coach. I think all the people in the team need to have a global vision and try to see the situation with more numbers than emotion, and then try to bring the player in a more comfortable aspect of the situation. It could be in a positive way. Probably you see some players that win a lot of matches, they have on positive streak and start to act a little bit, too confident to make sure that they stay humble and they keep working and they know that they didn't achieve the whole potential yet and they still need to try to take the best out of the sessions. Or also on the other side, if some first round losses in a row are happening, being able to, look at the numbers. We're still working, we're still improving. Maybe, the draw were not great on the last tournaments. Maybe a few situations that few matches turn on 2 or 3 points that you could win and would change the whole dynamic. I would imagine also the staff being able to comfort the player with more factual way than emotional.
That's a good answer, and obviously not trying to expose anyone here, but from the teams you've been involved, always good communication across the team, or you face some type of challenge like, well,
communication is a key. It's always important to try to find the best for the athlete. Once again, in every team, the team is the addition of few people, and some people can have a different point of view, some people can have a different vision of the situation. Best communication is always the most important part. Sometimes it's obviously challenging with sharing your point of views, trying to have different point of view of a situation. That situation could be dealt differently. It's hard to communicate, but I think it's in every business, not only in a high-level team.
Sure. Yeah.
As soon as you have many people around you, you need to make sure that everybody want to go in the same direction. And if it's not the case, yes, then we're going to face some trouble. The sad part is most of the time the player is the one that's paid the price of it, and that's the bad side of it.
Cool. And I know you're a big fan of soccer, and I know the World Cup is coming up next year, and it'll be here in the US and Mexico and Canada. And I know France is being pointed as one of the biggest contenders of, possibly, especially based on the last 2-3 cycles. How do you see that? If France plays Brazil, would you be on our side? Or how that goes?
I won't, Cassiano. My roots are too deep in France. I can't switch from blue to yellow that fast. No, they have a good team. They won 8 years ago, final 4 years ago. It's obviously a great team. I think that now soccer is He's played everywhere in France. He's played everywhere in Brazil. Probably everywhere in Argentina, in Spain. Those countries, like go outside, you see kids playing. I think it's still one of the sport that brings kids to exercise and to be outside. You don't need much. You just go put 2 backpacks on the ground and you have a net. You go get the soccer ball and you can play a game. Nowadays, I think it's important because most of the kids, they're probably more attracted with video games or like something more addicted than sport with video games, with like even movies or TV shows. So I think this is still the sport that brings people together. When you see the World Cup, when you see fans, how they invested and how they want to spread. I went to Europe. It was not 2 years ago when the Euro was there. It was in Germany. People coming from Spain, people coming from Croatia. It's still a sport that brings people together. For the results, we'll see. Spain looks good. Brazil, I don't know. I don't want to, say bad things about your own country, but they don't look so strong recently. Even if Japan is a great team, I'm not sure that they're contending for the trophy.
Oh, I see the mention about Japan. Oh, that's fine. To be honest, I like when Brazil is not one of the favorites because that's when they kind of like put themselves together and play. I remember 2002, no, but 1994, we qualified for the World Cup on the very last match. The team, when you look on the paper, it was okay, nothing special, and they put the thing together and get it. I think one of the surprises that I foresee is Morocco. It's impressive how they're developing. Last World Cup, they already was, third place or something. Mm-hmm. And now all they are under 20, under 17.
No, they're playing really good. Yeah. They're playing really good. They have the Ashraf Hakimi, who plays in Paris, amazing right back. We don't even know. Right back, right midfield, right wing. He's everywhere. Yeah. He's everywhere. They have also like a young generation coming. And I think it's great because most of those players, they play in Europe, they play with the main team. Turkey now has players in Real Madrid. Yeah. I think it's good for the sport. It brings more people to watch game, and I hope the whole goal is to connect people together. It was same thing 2 years ago, I think, when Miami hosted the final of the American Cup. Colombia. I think that the energy that people can have, it was Colombia against Argentina. Yeah. People live for soccer and support their country. So if you can bring people together, that's the best of those events. Yeah, no. When I was going to Argentina with my son, we watched a movie on the airplane, and man, if you see the number of Argentinians that they were in Qatar watching the matches, were insane. Yeah. You had a waves of Argentinians on the street, and then you don't see that much in other sports. Some of them make sense, like football or American football, baseball, because they're local here. But other stuff, as you said, that they just bring people together. I remember there's a famous story back in the days. There was a war. I'll make up the countries here, but something like Zaire and Namibia, wherever it was. And Brazil went to play a friendly match there, and because Pelé was there, they stopped the war for 3 days. That's the power that the sport. We need more of those in our world. Yeah, definitely, and few places. In a few places. Yes. You're right. Yes. Now, I observe your training here. Besides your great professionalism and creativity, I see you always, try and motivate the athletes. What can you tell to the athletes that could be hearing us here? What can you words of motivation or wisdom, if you will? I will not go for the pep talk right now. And, I'm not that type of coach. I would say as an American coach who talks in the locker room and bring everybody the fire. I like to bring the motivation from the players as an inner motivation, to make them understand that what they do is for their own benefit. And I believe that when people understand why they're doing it with more intensity as well, more than, he told me to do this, so I'm doing it. Right. If they understand the process, if they understand the benefit, it's probably easier to go through the challenges, the difficulty of the exercise, of the training every day. I think that's a part of the motivation to see the purpose of it. Regarding that, I think testing is important to see when you improve. Also keep motivation active for you as you see yourself developing and getting better. Also brings a global motivation to keep doing it, obviously. Other than that, I think it's important for kids to understand that every high-level athlete, I truly think that they are a general athlete. You could put any high-level tennis player in soccer, they would be good. You can put any.
They'll find a way.
Yeah, they'll find a way. The basketball people could play soccer. The American football could play rugby, or like in your branch, in your area of strengths and developing. I think you have obviously some specific technique, specific tactic, but a general athlete is required. The general level is required to be top at your sport. So strengths and conditioning, it has to be done. It has to be done.
Yeah, you heard the man. Movement. Move to free yourself. Move to capacitate yourself. Move to perform. Well, I think c'est ça.
On a fini?
Ouais.
Bon, c'est bon.
No, thank you very, very much for your time and for all the wisdom you shared. Hope you can do this more often with other topics, especially after the World Cup. And
you won't invite me after the World Cup.
That's it. And anyway, for you listening, we're doing that on the week of Thanksgiving here in the US. So if you're American, happy Thanksgiving. Look for us on our social media, YouTube, Instagram, Costa Performance. If you want to know more about us, also www.costaperformance.com. Hope to see you guys next. Thanks, Francis.
My pleasure.